Welcome to the 50/50 rule. Hi, I'm Brad and I'm one of the founders of the Painters Business Academy and the creator of the 50/50 sales system. Over the next several videos, I'm going to teach you a sales and estimating system that helps painting contractors like you consistently hit 50% gross profit and 50% close rate without chasing more leads or having to discount your work. When I was a kid, I painted houses and I led crews before starting my own painting business in my early 20s while I was a student. I've spent the last 17 years in the trades industry, including being the first franchise owner and investor for Shack Shine Home Services, one of the largest residential exterior cleaning franchises in North America. And over the past 5 years, I've built a profitable, fully systemized $1.7 million painting brand called Colorcraft Painting, using this exact system. So what's coming in this course? Everything I'm teaching in this course comes straight from what I've used to grow my own personal painting brand, Colorcraft. It's field tested, proven, and built to work specifically for residential painting contractors like you. So here's what we're going to learn over the upcoming videos. Why most painting contractors fail to hit both strong profit margins and consistent close rates, and why the 50/50 rule, 50% close rate, 50% gross profit, is necessary to scale a healthy painting business. How to price every job with simple, standardized estimating approach that removes the guesswork. You're going to learn the psychology behind why homeowners say yes and how to confidently sell at premium pricing. You're going to learn a repeatable step-by-step sales process that helps you close 50% or more of the quotes that you run. You're going to learn how to track your numbers so that you know what needs to be accomplished each week, how to break all that down to achieve your goals, and how to optimize your sales process over time. Basically, how to diagnose where you are and where you can improve and what's going well. And finally, how to put it all together so you can create a predictable, scalable sales system that you can eventually delegate with confidence, which is ultimately the key, is to be able to delegate this with ease and confidence. So to make sense of everything, we'll cover, you first need to understand the 50/50 rule. It's the foundation for everything else in the system. So it's built on those two numbers, 50% gross margin, meaning that half of every job's revenue stays with you after paying labor and materials, and 50% close rate, meaning you convert at least half of the estimates into paying jobs. Both of these numbers are really critical for successfully scaling a profitable painting business. So why don't we start with the gross margin? You take a 10,000 paint job as an example. Out of that, around 8 to 12% is going to go to paint and materials. About 36 to 40% is going to go to labor. That's 50% of your revenue going to the cost of goods sold. And that's leaving you $5,000 to cover everything else. So overhead, marketing, sales, and of course, net profit. From that $5,000 at scale, you'll typically allocate, this is the contribution margin that comes to us after paying for the job costs. Typically about 8% of that's going to go to production management when you're at scale. 8% is going to the marketing cost that it took to get the lead. 8% is going to sales. And another 8 to 10% is going to be going to your general overhead expenses like your vehicles, your insurance, your admin, which leaves you about 15 to 20% net profit. That's a healthy painting company. If your gross margin is under 50%, scaling becomes almost impossible. You can't afford the team or systems that allow you to step out of both production and sales. Whereas if your gross margin is much higher than 50%, something is usually actually off, right? So there is this sweet spot, and that is why it's the 50/50, right? Maybe if your sales ratio is too high or your gross profit's too high, maybe you're overcharging, right? If your profit margin is too high, your gross profit, maybe you're overcharging. Painters are being underpaid or corners are being cut. 50% is that sweet spot where everybody wins. The customer, your team, and you, the owner. Now, the second half is the 50/50 is your closing rate. So if you're only closing 20 to 25% of your quotes, you're burning time, doing twice the work for half the results, and your sales reps really can't earn enough to stick around. So that's the problem there. On the flip side, if you're closing at 70 to 80%, that's usually a sign when you're diagnosing that your prices are too low and you're leaving profit on the table, which is going to get into the gross profit. So maybe you're selling really high, but now the gross profit margins is dropping on each job. You didn't really allocate enough. So the ideal range is 40 to 60%, with a 50% as a benchmark for your sales ratio. That balance tells you your pricing is right and your sales process is strong. At the end of the day, though, most painting contractors don't have a repeatable way to sell jobs profitably. They hand out quotes, they hope it lands, and when it doesn't, they kind of just chase more leads or start discounting, and this cycle can keep you really, really stuck. So the 50/50 sales system breaks that cycle. It gives you a clear, repeatable way to price, present, and close your jobs at strong margins with confidence. And when you have both of these key metrics at 50%, you have the foundation for a painting business that you can scale without burning out, right? So in the next video, we're going to look at why inconsistent estimating is one of the biggest reasons contractors miss their margins. I'm going to show you how a standardized estimating system is thought through, and how it not only removes the guesswork and protects your profit, but it also gives you the confidence to present your price, right? You know that you're selling something profitable for you, right? There's no guesswork. So I'll see you over in the next video.